Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. Bitcoin holders, get ready. One of the biggest banks out there, Goldman Sachs, is about to jump into Bitcoin. Not only they, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, everyone is about to jump into Bitcoin. So we have more good news. We have more FOMO. And that's not all. There's something else that is happening. We're going to see a competitor to Grayscale pretty soon. So, yeah, onslaught of good news. That's why I wanted to have another live stream tonight. This is going to be a quick one. I just want to give you guys this piece of news that just broke out not too long ago. Also, give you a quick update on Bitcoin because obviously this morning we had a little bit of weakness. We had a pretty good bounce. And it seems like that bounce may be over. So I want to give you guys some of my thoughts in terms of what we may see tomorrow. I do plan on streaming tomorrow too, but maybe not my usual time. So thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, for those of you guys that are here, make sure you smash up the like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, right? I'm streaming basically every weekday, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, but also sometimes at night, like right now, and on the weekend. So make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter and Facebook. All right, so let's get started. Let me share my screen. Let's first look at this. So Bitcoin is at 36,600. Much better than this morning, right? When I was streaming this morning, we just bounced off of the 34.5, right? So we're still kind of hovering there. But since then, Bitcoin tried to come back down a few times, didn't really, and started pumping up in a very traditional manner, one that we're used to seeing, right? 37.6 before it came down a little bit. So that's where we are right now. Before I get to this, I do want to go over the news. There's a lot of good news, and I just want to talk about it real quick, and then let me come back to this chart. So the biggest one has to be this. Goldman Sachs, one of the biggest and most respected banks out there, will soon enter and dive into Bitcoin with a custody play. So they're not officially buying Bitcoin yet. They're not officially trading Bitcoin yet or offering services yet, but they will be getting into custody service, which is a big thing. Not only them, according to this article, not only Goldman Sachs is looking at that, JP Morgan is also looking at it, among other big banks, right? So why do they want to do this? If banks are so scared of Bitcoin and crypto, why are they getting involved with Bitcoin? Well, there's a couple reasons. Number one, you could say that they basically gave up. They realized that Bitcoin and crypto is not going to go away, so they want to get a piece of the pie right now. Conservatively, rather than say, oh, we're just going to offer crypto trading and all this stuff, right? The first thing most banks or institutions will do, besides buying Bitcoin, is let's offer custody service, right? It's a service that a lot of people are looking for, and the reason why they're doing this and why all these banks and institutions are doing custody is because, think about it, right? They think there is going to be a massive amount of people or companies that will need this service. That's why they're offering it. If there was no one looking for a custody service, then why would you offer in the first place, right? So they must anticipate there is an enormous amount of demand that is coming, and that is why they plan on offering this, and that is why JP Morgan plans on offering this, and why all the other banks plan on offering this. And of course, they're not the first movers in this space, right? We have heard of exchanges like Coinbase and Gemini off of theirs, but though they're like peanuts, right, in this space. But of course, Fidelity Investments is not peanuts. They are one of the largest investment, firms, asset holders of Wall Street, and they already have Bitcoin custody service. So as you can see, this is becoming a very, very major crowded space. Everyone wants a piece, right? Fidelity goes beyond that. Fidelity has Bitcoin mining. They own stock of mining companies. They did mining of their own, and they help their clients also invest in crypto. So they're kind of all in one, right? They're very, very bullish very, very bullish on Bitcoin. Now, Goldman Sachs didn't get so bullish yet, but I do think after they open up their custody service, they're going to open up a trading desk. Before, I think last year or 2 years ago, that was rumored they hired someone to open up a trading desk. That put on hold when Bitcoin got a little bit down, but I do think that is coming around the corner. So this is definitely big news, breaking news. Well-respected, one of the biggest banks out there is now soon going to be diving into Bitcoin along with everyone else. Everyone wants a piece of the pie, right? There is just so little to go around. The demand is just booming and booming and booming, and everyone wants a slice. And yes, I think Elon is about to jump in. Elon and Tesla is about to jump in. They want a slice. I'm pretty sure that is going to happen pretty soon. All right. So two other pieces of news. Number one, I mentioned about GBTC, right? Grayscale Investment Trust. Their numbers just go through the roof, right? Nonstop, ever climbing for their Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. I think today or this week was the first day they opened up their doors for new clients. They shut down their doors a little bit because I believe demand was too high. Because when they shut down their doors, Bitcoin shot up to 40,000 really quick, right? And today, I think they reopened for new customers, so they're ready. So you know that a lot more institutions, they're going to be calling in. They're going to say, hey, I want a piece of the pie, right? But it's not just them now. There is a new firm that is offering a Bitcoin trust also. It's going to be OBDC instead of GBDC. It's Osprey Funds, right? And Osprey says that their management fee is going to be the lowest, 0.49% management fees. It is the lowest cost solution. So Grayscale better watch out. They're going to have some true competition in the near future, although Grayscale already has 500,000 Bitcoin in their trust. So I don't know if this fund is really concerned, but this also shows you, right? A lot of these companies coming in, they want a piece of Bitcoin, right? They're offering services, and they anticipate that demand is going to be there. Not only be there, it's going to be exploding. That's why they want to be ahead, just like Goldman with their custody service and this Osprey Funds. They want to be ahead. They don't want Grayscale to be the dominant figure, right? They have to have some competition. So that is why they are starting out with their own. Another piece of news, Argentine billionaire Marcos Galperin officially declares that Bitcoin is a better store of value than gold, right? This is a story we're hearing a lot of. More and more people are turning to Bitcoin instead of gold, right? Another reason why Bitcoin is going to go much higher because everyone is starting to see that gold isn't such a good store of value. It's something that people are used to buying and holding for a long time, but now people are recognizing that Bitcoin is the better buy, right? Even the richest billionaires out there, they're recognizing that Bitcoin is the one to buy and hold, and it's the new digital gold, and it's a much better hold, right? So those are things I want to cover real quick. Now, Bitcoin, of course, let me get back to it. At the beginning, I showed you guys where it was, right? It bounced off the 34.5, right? Because it did look like, a double top was forming, right? So you could see a double top. It didn't complete. So it kind of stopped midway through. If it was complete, it would drop to $30,000, right? So some of these indicators are looking pretty good. These are all short-term indicators, right? I'm trying to just give you guys a little glimpse into what I'm thinking. It could be 100% wrong most of the time. 60% of the time I'm right all the time. So that's the way I view it. But you know what? Right now, I think Bitcoin is, I don't know, it's showing a little bit more weakness, right? So after this bounce, and for several hours, Bitcoin bounced from about 34, 35, all the way to about 37. And it just seemed like this was going to be an easy recovery, and it's going to keep going, and by tomorrow, it seems like it's going to head to $40,000. But something changed right over here. I started noticing a lot more weakness. The sell orders, right, the sell volume increased. So that's a little concerning. So it makes me think that, yeah, for today, 34.5 was the low, and possibly 37.7 or 37.6 could be today's high too. So I'm thinking this is actually going to go down a little bit. I'm thinking that, you know what, we may test this 34.5 again. And if Bitcoin does not hold, then we could be completing that double top pattern back to $30,000, right? It's a little bit early to call, but I wanted to give you guys that insight because it does show the bears are trying to take control again, trying to drive Bitcoin down again, right? And you could see the sell pressure, the sell volume increasing. Although the good thing is all the indicators, because of the recent drop, all the indicators are pretty low, pretty low. So if you look at the 1 hour, actually the RSI, it was at 50. It's bouncing off 50. It's going a little bit lower. Stochastic RSI is coming down. So 1 hour, not so good. But 4 hour is fantastic. Stochastic bottomed out, right? This was what I was looking for. I think the biggest reason why Bitcoin is going down, besides taking a breather, some manipulation, is it needed to cool off. The 4 hour was very high, right? And 4 hour has bottomed out. That's positive. You can see as soon as it bottomed out, there's the green candlestick that start coming up, right? And the daily is very low too. So you got the 4 hour and daily, they're all looking pretty good. So what I'm thinking is maybe, for the next 10, 12 hours until tomorrow when I have my stream, Bitcoin may be a little bit weaker, right? Maybe it goes back down to 34.5 and holds there, but I think it's going to bounce off and come up pretty quickly. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Bitcoin, whether or not it does retrace back to 34.5 and go lower, or it's going to go right back to where it was. But here's the thing. This is what I was saying this morning for those of you guys that caught me. People are like, oh, there's weakness. I better sell. No, that's not what you want to do. When you see weakness, that's when you buy. You buy the weakness. You buy things when low and you sell high, right? So even if you pick some up this morning at like 34.5, 35,000, you would have made a cool $1,000, $2,000 already, right? And it's the same thing a few days ago when Bitcoin fell to $30,000 and some people were panicking like, hey, is this 2018 again? No, sometimes these things happen. Bitcoin is volatile, right? But if you pick up low, right, then you're doing it right. You don't want to fall for these games where you're selling your Bitcoin and then you see it go back up and you're like, oh, what did I do? You just transfer your wealth away, right? You don't want to do that. You want to be the one to be receiving the wealth. You want to be picking up Bitcoins, cheap Bitcoins from people that have weaker hands, and you're essentially stealing their wealth and they're transferring it to you. So that's what you want to do. So the purpose of me telling you this is if Bitcoin does show a bit more weakness, goes down to 34.5, I think that's a great pickup point. If it goes lower, if it goes to 30,000, that's a great pickup point, right? Obviously, when you see Bitcoin being sold at a discount, especially from 40,000 down to 34.5, that's 6,000 points, right? And if it goes down to 30,000, which I don't think it will, but maybe there's a chance. But, that would be 10,000 off the top, right? So those are bargain basement discount prices, and that's what you want to look for, right? But for those of you guys that don't want to time top and bottom, what you want to do is just spread out your buys, dollar cost average, right? Takes the stress away, and that, most of the time, actually, that works out the best. Actually, not most of the time. It does work out the best. The people that have gotten the most riches from Bitcoin are the ones that simply dollar cost average or got in early and just hodled, and that's pretty much it. All right, there's two other things I want to talk about. Two other altcoins I want to talk about real quick because I don't want to make this stream like too long. But number one is one of the big caps that is now pumping, and I noticed this morning, people mentioned it, is Chainlink, right? So Chainlink is pumping up, and with Bitcoin's rise from this morning, Chainlink continued to go up. So now it's up almost 20% for today and almost 41% within the last week. But really, this is like the last 2 days, right? So why is this happening? Why is Chainlink going up? Well, right now, there's this phenomenon that's happening, and we see this periodically, where the whales decides to pick an altcoin. Most of the time, it's a big cap, and they just pump up that big cap, right? Because people trust big caps. It takes an enormous amount of money, and it could be some of the Bitcoin weakness could be because of that, because they have to sell their Bitcoin to pump up some of these big caps that take enormous amount of money to pump up, right? So before Polkadot, Cardano was pumping. Remember, Cardano was outside of 10. It was like 11 or 12. It pumped up in a big way to $9 billion. Right now, it's taking a breather. Guess what happened after that? Where did all that money go, right? It went into Polkadot. Polkadot started pumping up in a big way. Last 7 days, 55%. But if you go back beyond 7 days, it's actually higher than that, right? Polkadot pumped up so much that it is now above XRP. I just noticed that. They actually flipped XRP. XRP is number 5. Remember, I said XRP is going to be out of top 10, I think, in the near future. Not because they fall so much, it's because everyone else is rising above them. So that's pretty amazing that Polkadot is now number 4, right? And they're holding too. But was there any fundamental reason why Polkadot went up 55% within a week? No, not really. So that's kind of the same thing with Chainlink. It's up 42%, and I do think Chainlink, this pump will probably continue into the weekend and probably end sometime next week. So we could see Chainlink go up in a big way. And I think it's almost certain that Chainlink will flip with Bitcoin Cash. And there's a good chance that Chainlink can flip with Litecoin too. And if Cardano does not start pumping, it could flip Cardano, right? So I do think that's coming around the corner. Of course, we have seen Chainlink pump up to the moon, right? Chainlink was at like $30, I think. $30 or $25 at one point in time before it came down. So Chainlink definitely has that pump potential, right? So watch out for Chainlink. I do think that there is more room to grow. But even outside of pumps, Chainlink is a fantastic project, right? It's an Oracle play that DeFi projects and protocol projects and any dApp can use. That's why they're in the top 10. They belong there. And you know what? Outside these pumps, they are still really good altcoin to hold. But right now, those of you guys that are Chainlink bag holders, you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it. Now, one other altcoin I want to talk about, and a lot of people is talking about it, and that is Voyager. That's the one I just covered recently, right? It looks like a great project. That's why I decided to cover it. And since my coverage, I don't think I had anything to do with it. I think I just caught it at a good time. It continues to go up and up and up at number 78. When I first caught it, it was at number 100 on the CMC, right? It just kind of climbed up from 77 cents to about $1.25. I think it was as high as $1.30 something earlier today, right? So Voyager is also one that I really like. So if you look into it, fantastic team, right? Fantastic app. And they have staking. They're a publicly traded company. There's a lot of things going for Voyager, so I also do like Voyager a lot. So I just want to talk about those two. Chainlink and Voyager both doing well, but of course there are other ones I didn't even know. Like, for example, IOST is pumping up to the moon too, 162% and 40% within the last 24 hours. Is that legit? I don't know. I don't know, because a lot of these just seem to pump for no reason, right? So you gotta do your own research sometimes, and just sometimes you gotta read in between the lines. Actually pay attention to the bigger picture. But sometimes you do all that and you still don't come up with the answer, and then the conclusion is it's being pumped. But that's not a bad thing, because usually when these projects get pumped up, a lot of times, especially if they're good projects, their price just kind of stays there after the pump. So that's really good. All right, so that's what I want to cover. I saw the super chat from Troy. Thank you. Can you take a moment to speak about our Lord and Savior Dogecoin? Troy, I don't know what else you want me to say about Dogecoin. I think the biggest benefit, the biggest one, honest truth, to holding Dogecoin, where is that, number 33, is that Elon loves it. That's the biggest reason why. If Elon declared, I don't know, even in a joking manner or a serious manner, if he declares, I'm going to make Dogecoin the official crypto of Mars, right? If we have a Mars station, I'm going to have Dogecoin on there. It's going to cause an explosion. It's going to make Dogecoin double, basically. But even if he doesn't do that, every time he talks about Dogecoin and pumps it up, temporarily comes back down, maybe he declares he's going to buy some Dogecoin. So I think the biggest thing going for Dogecoin is Elon. So that's my thoughts on it. Brian, thank you. I got 500 bucks. What should you do? You should spread out that buy. Spread out 5 ways. So if you want to get in, right, put 100 bucks into Bitcoin right now. Like I said, it's 4,000 right now. 4,000 off the top. That's not too shabby, right? If it goes down to 34 or 30,000, you put another 100 bucks, right? You dollar cost average for a long haul, right? And then going in the future, if you want to put more than 500, just set yourself to be on a schedule, right? A schedule that you put $100, $50 every so often. Of course, not going over than what you could afford to lose, right? That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Kraken for altcoins, straight spot or 2-3x leverage. You know, the good thing about the leverage coins, I don't use Kraken, so I didn't know they have it, but I know Binance does, like BTC up, BTC down, where it's like a 2-3x coin. It's better because you can't get liquidated, but it still moves 2-3x, right? So on down days like this, it's going to be painful because you're going down 2 to 3 days. But when it's up, it's good. Overall, if you believe the trend is going up, right, then holding something like that is less risky. But still, there's risk to it, so you got to be careful. But still, much better than the crazy 100x or 30x or 50x leverage that some people play around with. Jay Vor, thoughts on VeChain? Of course, I talk about VeChain all the time. All the time. I talk about VeChain, how they're the biggest player in China, and they're just going to benefit from that, right? So right now, we just got to wait. When China goes full-blown digital currency, I think VeChain is going to really pick up. It's going to really pick up. Curtis, what do you think about Algro land? Algorand, I think. If I recall, let me look it up. They've been pumping up a lot recently. Technology that enables frictionless finance. All right, so we are a technology company that built and developed the world's first open, permissionless, pure proof-of-stake blockchain protocol that, without forking, provides necessary security, scalability, and decentralization needed for today's economy. Okay, that's a mouthful. We enable traditional finance and decentralized finance business to embrace the world of frictionless finance. So seems like they're a blockchain, a protocol, but their aim is focused on finance, smart contracts. They have assets, atomic transfers, led by Turing Award winner Silvio Mackay. Okay, I don't know who he is, but it sounds impressive. Okay. I'm going to be honest, I'm not too thrilled by looking at it first glance. There's just too many. There's too many blockchain protocols out there. Right now, each one has their own niche, however you say that. Like some are in supply chain, some are in healthcare, some maybe in gaming or scaling solution, and some are in finance, right? Whether or not traditional finance really embraces it, I don't know. Right? I think it's a little bit early. A little bit early. It doesn't mean that this is a bad project, but something that it doesn't interest me. Let's just put it that way. The richest man in the world is buying BTC. I would not doubt it. I would not doubt that Elon already bought BTC. He's just playing dumb, right? I think it's just a matter of time that he declares Tesla is going to be putting some of their reserve currency or reserve cash into Bitcoin, right? And he himself, with so much money, why wouldn't he buy some Bitcoin himself, right? So I think that's just coming around the corner, and that is very, very, very positive. It's going to be very positive for Bitcoin, right? How many basketball cards on eBay are fake? Well, the good thing is the fake ones are usually labeled replicas and they're really cheap, right? The other good thing is, for me, I only buy graded cards, right? So I have one on my desk. Here's a Lonzo PSA 9, right? Or no, PSA, yeah, it's PSA 9. But if you buy it graded, you don't really have to worry about it so much. So the grading companies kind of verify that it's not fake. So if you go buy single cards, buy graded cards. If you're buying ones that you want to grade, right? Usually cheap cards, no one's going to replicate. But if you're buying a very expensive card that is being sold for less than it should be, then you should be very careful. It is possible for a graded card to be fake, but it is very, 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 very hard to do so. But I have heard of stories like that where PSA actually went to a show and someone had some card and they actually confiscated it and said it's a fake card. So they have the right to take it away. So, yeah, so that does happen, but it's very, very, very rare. Very rare. What is your take on privacy coins this year? I think it's the same as before. I would stay away from them. They're being delisted left and right, so I don't like that. It's gonna be harder and harder to get them. And honestly, people that are using privacy coins like Monero, it's the #1 crypto on the dark web, right? So the things that people say bad about Bitcoin, like how it's being used for illicit activities and stuff, not so much in Bitcoin because you can actually track the transactions pretty easily. You just don't know who it is. But with Monero and stuff, that's where they're actually really using that for that purpose. So I don't like privacy coins that much. Geo, I appreciate that. I don't think I am, but I'm glad you think so. Mickey Mantle rookie card sold for 5.2 million yesterday. I would not doubt that. You know, baseball cards are just going through the roof, right? At least the high end ones, like the Mike Trout one that was like $3 million. Now the Mickey Mantle, right? But basketball cards is also getting up there, right? Football cards, it's high, but not as high because I think football is not a global sport, not American football. Soccer cards I hear is very hot. But yeah, I mean, basically any sport. Hockey, not so much. Wrestling, racing, not so much. I did talk about Chainlink going up already. Chainlink overall is a good project, but I think right now it's being pumped. But so what? It's a good project. What does it mean if XRP is going to be absorbed by... No, that won't happen. XRP will never be absorbed by XLM. Do you like Binance buying up BNB and burning them, lowering the supply? Yeah, that was the original thing with BNB is they take their profits, right, and they take a percentage of that and they use that to burn BNB. When BNB was not used for anything, that was the main purpose why it would go up because the supply is decreasing, right? But now BNB has expanded beyond that. They have the Binance chain, you could use that, right? DeFi now can use BNB. There's a lot of purpose for BNB. But one of the reasons why it's going up, or it went up, and now it's still very high at 41 is because it does get smaller, right? The supply does get smaller, and there's a set supply, and it does help it go up. Wow, if you live near Brett Favre, then you probably live in a very nice neighborhood. Ryan blockchain, I think they're gonna do good things. Although today they went down because Bitcoin was showing weakness, but I think they're gonna go up and up and up. Unfortunately, the overall crypto market cap went below $1 trillion. But I do think that's gonna pick up once again. I mean, it's just teeter-tottering right now, but it'll get there. It'll get there. All right, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. Like I said, I promise to keep this session short. The biggest news is Goldman Sachs is about to dive in. Goldman Sachs is about to dive in and jump into Bitcoin. That is huge. Not only Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, all the other banks are, right? And the reason why they want to do this is because this is dipping their toes in and they're going to expand their services. And they want to offer custody service because they know there's a lot of clients that's going to be needing this service in the future. So they don't want to give up. They don't want to give up profits by offering this service, right? So that is very, very positive. Blockchain Guru, should I retire with 1 million now, or is it better to wait and make 3 million before retiring? Is it a good idea to move to Miami with BTC? I don't I don't have an answer to that. Here's my answer. I'll be your financial analyst, so you could send me that $1 million in Bitcoin to my address in the description, and then I will decide what to do with your money and what you should do with your money. How about that? I am just joking. You should consult a financial advisor and consult your spouse or your loved ones and decide if you should retire or not. Kathleen, I tried the Voyager app. It's frictionless. Company on board 500 million recently, and 500 total, 150 million in the last 4 days. Well, you're welcome. I got done talking about it too. The two that I talked about today, Chainlink obviously doing very well, pumping up, but also Voyager is also going up. Not pumps, just slow rises. I actually really do like Voyager. So after looking at it, I do like it a lot. I think the app is good. Everything they're doing within their services is good. The public traded company, which adds legitimacy, and their founders is great. It's my new favorite altcoin. And it's been a long time that I did like 2017, 2018, I looked at a ton of new projects, right? A lot of them sounded promising and then went nowhere, right? So I kind of became a little jaded because of that. That's why when I look at a new project, I don't get really excited because I have seen and heard a million of them that are similar. But when I saw Voyager, like right away, I knew I liked it. It was different. That's why I did a coverage on them, right? So it's my new favorite altcoin. Let's just put it that way. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. I probably will have a stream tomorrow. I don't know what time. I don't know if it's my usual time, 11 a.m. or some other time. So make sure you follow me on Twitter, also Facebook, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my streams or anything else I may be putting on in the future. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Take care.